Ladies and gents, and welcome to CG Reactions, and this is Mass Hysteria Throughout History by the channel Nella Academy. Sam makes some of the great videos I ever saw. It's always funny and awesome to see, and it's some part of history that nobody really talks about, but it's really awesome to see how Sam portrays it here. I've reacted to lots of Sam video. Check out the end cards on my channel if you haven't seen my reaction to it. And yeah, Mass Hysteria. I remember reading on mass hysteria in the past, and I'm like, how does that work? If it affects just one person, I can understand that, some kind of psychological issue or something. But if it slowly start to affect a lot of people, how does that work? I always was fascinated by some kind of virus or something, but then I realized, oh wait a minute, it's some kind of contaminated food or contaminated water supply. Most time it's contaminated water supply, because something contaminates the water supply, and people start to have this kind of mass hysteria, and slowly people joins into this mass hysteria. They are the same people who get contaminated from same water supply. So that's how usually it goes, but it's always fascinating to see. So yeah, let's watch the video of Sam and what he covers. So there's going to be probably some great historical events, funny events that happen on mass hysteria. Let's watch it.
Hey kids, if you've ever been Black Friday shopping or visited the Diablo subreddit recently, chances are you've encountered mass hysteria at some point. Mass hysteria is known medically as mass psychogenic illness, or MPI for short. It's basically just when a bunch of people start acting a fool for no discernible reason other than maybe a stressful environment. Being that this sort of thing is naturally very noticeable, there's loads of documented cases found all throughout history. Let's take a look at a few. This first one is what made me make this video in the first place. So one day sometime in the Middle Ages, a group of nuns in a French convent were enjoying a quiet, uneventful day, until one of them decided to start meowing. You know, like a cat.
Damn.
You'd think this would last all of 4 seconds before another nun was like, "Excuse me, Sister Gertrude, would you kindly cut the shit?" But instead, another nun joined in, and another, until basically the entire nunnery was exchanging mouths like a group of communist trading card enthusiasts. This wasn't just a one-time thing either, it basically became integrated into their way of life. It's said that on a given day, they would stand there meowing in each other's faces.
Oh my god, imagine going to that, that place and just seeing this nuns just looking at each other meowing for no obvious reason. The biggest fear that people can have is the fear of unknown. Nothing is more fearful. That's why people are afraid at night, because you can't see anything. So when you go here just out of the blue and there is just nuns just meowing for no reason, you don't know what's happening, you just see nuns meowing to each other, it's like, god damn, what's happening? There would be a fear struck through you, like something's happening, I don't understand this, but I don't want to stay here. That's really terrifying, man.
For hours at a time. Could you imagine being the first outsider to witness this? You might laugh now, but as they say, everybody gangsta till the nuns start meowing. I'd void my bowels and move to Malaysia without even thinking. Miles more terrifying than this pile of garbage. As you can imagine though, after a while it stopped being scary and just got annoying, leading to the neighbors calling in a band of soldiers to deal with the situation. Hey guys, can we talk to you for a sec about Yeah, that. All due respect, but we have orders to literally beat the hell out of you with whips till you start acting like people again. Sorry sir, it's just force of habit. Haha, habit. Seriously though, we would rather go to hell for throttling a gaggle of nuns than put up with another minute of your bullshit, caprese? Our next event took place in the parish of Fatima, Portugal in the year 1917. It all started with 3 shepherd children, ages 10, 9, and 7 respectively. They were like, "Greetings, fellow Portugueseites. We've been seeing visions of the Virgin Mary, and she told us to tell you that some real crazy shit's gonna go down in the sky on October 13th. Now, if 3 random farm children started spouting out prophecies to the public today, you'd say, "Ha, what tomfoolery. Go play in some dirt, you dirty little dirt baby." But keep in mind, the past is a different country. And Portugal's a different country. So that's like different country squared you gotta think about.
Nuts.
Plus this was during World War I, a time where a lot of people were holding out for a miracle to begin with. So the kid's story was actually picked.
That's stupid though. Just kids, 3 kids talking all these things and people are taking seriously. That would not happen today. That would not happen today under any circumstances. They're like, get the hell out of here, man. Play somewhere else.
picked up and even spread by local newspapers, to the point where, when the day finally came, at least 30,000 people gathered in Fatima to witness the alleged miracle. Lo and behold, on that day, the sun began zooming around, careening towards Earth and sending rays of multicolored light cascading across the sky, creating a light show like nobody's ever seen. Keep in mind, this happened in the 20th century, way after the era where belief in divine...
Wait a minute, everybody saw that? And they came from different parts of the world. So how does mass hysteria work there? If it's from the same town, like I said, contaminated water supply, I can understand that. Coming from different parts of the world?
Jiggery and or pokery was considered mandatory, so naturally there were plenty of skeptics and non-believers present, and even they saw it all happen. Or so they thought. How do we know the sun didn't really whiz around haphazardly that day?
Because we are alive?
Well, number one, use your frickin' brain. And number two, accounts differed that day. Well, number one, use your frickin'
places where the sun freaking whizzes around. Oh, that's just that thought. Yeah, obviously sun didn't do that because sun is humongous thing on the sky that holds together our entire solar system. If sun did that, which it can't happen scientifically, but it did that, we would have been all dead. Planets would have been thrown out of our solar system. Some of them would have pushed inside the sun. No.
frickin' brain. And number two, accounts differed wildly from person to person. While some say the sun zigged hither, others say it zagged thither, and others still said it shined a brilliant yellow and stayed perfectly still. As such, it was eventually concluded that the event was just a combination of MPI and weird eye stuff from too much sun staring. Although I'd like to believe it was real, just that Jesus' illusion skill was way higher than his alteration at the time. Yep, that's it. Sam's going to hell. Why, for blasphemy? Trust me, that was the least offensive part of that joke. Our next tale took place in 1962 in Tanzania, which was basically just the beta version of Tanzania.
That sun thing was basically just some people, like, I can see it. Other had just some psychological issues, like, yeah, because they were told they're saying they started to see too. And other people like, oh, we are also witnessing some kind of miracle. Even though they didn't see it, they just lied. People lie a lot. You'll be surprised how much people lie about things that they shouldn't. They don't even know why they're lying. Just to get along with the group, they would lie. Like, we also witnessed it.
Tanzania. The nation had just declared its independence from Britain the previous year, and with the future so uncertain, tensions were naturally running high around this time. One little girl in a Tanzanian school ended up handling the stress in a bit of an unusual way. Rather than overeating or staring at her ceiling for hours like a normal person, she just started laughing, and laughing, and laughing. Pretty soon, her classmates at the all-girls school she attended began to join in, to the point where 95 of the 159 students caught the gigglies, which lasted anywhere from a few hours to 16 days straight. Beyond just the unprovoked cat.
Alright, I can give some input about this. Okay, so this is first of all class of kids. Maybe she had some contaminated food or something, so she had the issue with the mind, so she started laughing. Other kids just saw that just to have fun. I mean, everybody remembers school, how school is. So they just wanted to have fun, so they started laughing. And so our mind can get, accustomed to something. If you laugh too much, there's a danger. So you won't stop laughing because your mind will, get effed up that way. So that's what happened probably. She started laughing, everybody just started laughing just to why the hell not? And they just can't stop laughing after that, and it became an issue.
Other odd behavior included aimless running and occasional violence. The problem got so severe that the school was forced to close down temporarily, leading to the chortlers roaming the streets, spreading the affliction further. Thousands of people from all strata came to be affected, with 13 additional schools being shut down in the progress. Over the course of the hysteria...
Alright, so okay, so that's some kind of virus, let's be honest. That's not, just kids having fun and just getting stuck laughing. If it's affecting people outside too, that was some kind of virus that was spreading.
Several other symptoms began to present themselves as well, ranging from obvious ones such as breathing problems, fainting, random screaming, to more anomalous things like rashes. Despite all this, no physical cause could be found, leaving MPI as the only explanation. The epidemic finally died down after between 6 and 18 months of day in, day out laughter, depending on the village. While this whole thing likely sucked for most people involved, it probably could have been worse. A lot of the time when I'm alone, I'll think to myself, man, if I ever...
You know how people get rabies and they have a spit coming out of their mouth whenever they have aggressive rabies? That's because rabies make sure to do that. That's how they spread. So maybe some kind of virus was affecting them, that part of the brain, and they were just somehow, spreading it out throughout the air, and people were getting affected. That makes sense.
Ever go full schizo? I hope I'm one of the laughy ones, not one of the screamy ones. With this story in mind, just maybe, if I put my mind to it and believe hard enough, I can be both. Flashback to the year 1518 to the city of Strasbourg, at the time part of the HRE. A woman named Mrs. Trophy began fervently dancing in the streets for no discernible reason, for hours, then days. All without music, of course. Her only breaks consisted of occasional food intake and passing out from exhaustion when night came. If you saw that today, you'd just be like, ha! Drugs. But apparently people found it pretty inspiring, because within a week, 34 others had joined in, and after a month, there were around 400. This wasn't your casual bobbing up and down neither. This shit made Zumba look like Tai Chi. Here's the best modern day simulation I could find.
Whoa.
Now imagine that both of those people
if that dance goes wrong and he hits her on the wall, that causes a massive brain damage. That's just effed up, man.
The same person, and you got the dancing plague. This would take a toll on any healthy person, let alone a medieval city dweller. But despite bleeding feet and aching bones, they just kept going. In fact, they went so hard for so long that a good portion straight up fucking died from cardiac arrest.
God damn.
It got to the point where around 15 dancers were kicking the bucket every day before the city decided they had to do something about it. They managed to rule out any divine or supernatural causes, which was necessary just because, back in medieval times, it was fucking stupid. They eventually surmised that it was a natural disease caused by too much hot blood, as per that whole four humors thing that was popular at the time. As for a cure, their prescription was, get this, more dancing. I can see where they were coming from. It's pretty sound logic.
Out of your
you
system.
got a song stuck in your head, you play it till you're sick of it, same kind of thing. But here's where they goofed. The authorities actually went out of their way to facilitate the dancing, setting up a big stage area and even hiring musicians to keep the afflicted moving. All this achieved was attracting more passerby who were like, man, mass psychogenic illness looks frickin' epic, let's get in on that, causing the contagion to become even more widespread. Seeing that their solution backfired, the city then went the other way and completely banned any public dancing. Those who still showed signs of the mania were subsequently carted off to the shrine of St. Vitus, where an exorcism-like ritual was performed on them. This ended up being highly effective, presumably for no other reason than that the dancers believed it would work, and after nearly 2 months, the plague was quelled.
Alright, so this is one of those things that I was saying about school children, but apparently that was not the case about them, but it's the case here. Dancing is probably just somebody at psychological issue just started to dance because I don't know, food was affected or something. People saw it, dancing, that's cool. They started to dance, but somehow that created some kind of psychological issue that they couldn't stop dancing. That happened to everybody who joined in. So whenever they were brought to in front of shrine, did some kind of exorcism, they believed in their mind that everything's fine. Just believing that was enough to stop dancing. So probably there wasn't some kind of virus, it was just psychological thing. There is a thing, this is a real thing. If you laugh too much and keep laughing for a long time, there's a high chance you'll stuck laughing. You won't be able to stop, and that's dangerous, man.
This whole thing was most likely a case of good old-fashioned MPI. Some historians believe it might have been egged on in part by ergotism, a state of psychosis brought on by eating tainted bread, which I talked a little bit about in this video. Ding.
Okay.
And hey, while I'm shilling for my channel, I might as well give a shout out.
But if it's with tainted bread and everybody got affected like that, just believing you get cured shouldn't be able to cure you by doing exorcism. So I don't think it's just contaminated food. I think it's a psychological thing.
To another as well. Today's video was sponsored by Cheddar, a network focused on producing fascinating content covering.
So yeah, lots of mass hysteria mostly are with the contaminated food or water, but some of them can be psychological too. Mind is still uncharted territory, let's just say. Psychological issues just pop up that you can't explain a lot of times. A lot of your mind just gets stuck on some things that you can kick out of. So yeah. Damn, this was a good video. There was something, especially that nun thing, meowing. That's just giving me creeps even thinking about right now. Walking into church and everybody like meow, like okay, I think I'm just gonna go out now. Especially it's a church. If you believe in church and God and everything, there's a good enough chance you would also believe in devil, demon, things like that too. So when you go into church and you see all the nuns meowing, you're like, okay, that's it. Things are going to hell now. I'm running away. Man, I love this video. This was awesome. Alright people, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe, and check the end card for any other Sam reaction or other reaction of mine you want to see. Alright, I'll see you next time.